It's a horse. Of course. Here's your look at McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, The Dark Knight Returns, Robin. After being saved by Batman on the night he returns from his retirement, Carrie Kelley is determined to help the Dark Knight, spending her lunch money to purchase a Robin suit. She sets out to track down Gotham City's superhero and become his protege and crime-fighting partner. Shortly thereafter, Carrie finds Batman in the middle of a brawl with a mutant leader and successfully saves the Dark Knight from near death, proving herself capable in the role. Batman then accepts her as the newest Robin, and although he's reluctant to do so, her skills and dedication make her a worthy sidekick. Before we get a closer look at Carrie Kelley, let's go first of all and figure out how tall the figure stands. Using now my trusty brand new ruler, going to measure off to the very top of the figure's head. Carrie Kelley, the new Robin, stands 5 inches in height, or she's about 12 centimeters tall. I hope everybody brought their appetite. Oh, what's on the menu? Horse meat. Sounds delicious. Before, of course, we get a closer look at the horse that comes included with Carrie, let's first have a look at the included trading card. The trading card is using figure photography, yes. Though, to be fair, they are actually using some rather interesting backdrop, so at least even though it is just the picture of the figure, there's a little more to actually take in with your eyes. Down below, it's Robin from The Dark Knight Returns. Flip the card around to the back, you have the real name of Caroline Keene Carrie Kelley. That's a whole lot of And of course, down below, there is the read-up as well. You can either pause and read for yourself. It so happened to be the same thing I read about, a minute ago. Short-term memory, perhaps. It does come included with the trading card. We'll put that to the side. If, by the way, you are noticing that I'm a little hoarse in the throat, I didn't plan this just around the fact that we are looking at a Build-A-Figure horse figure. It was just inconveniently timed cold. I apologize for that. Though the figure also comes included with a display stand. Psst. The figure display stand, as you can see, has the DC logo branded down below. One singular peg that's going to plug into the underside of the figure's feet. Just a neutral display stand. And the figure finally comes included, not counting the horse, of course. The figure also comes included with her trusty slingshot. Still, though, this slingshot, like with all other accessories we've been looked at lately here, and really across the board, you could really take one broad brushstroke and just sweep it across the entire DC Multiverse line so far. They all seem to have really thick accessories. The strap, as you can see on the back, has had, unfortunately, a little bit of silver leakage. I hate when that happens. But at least you can take the accessory and attach it to either one of her hands. Now, at the beginning of this review, I was using this hand for holding the slingshot. Doesn't really matter, though. You could really use this hand as well if you prefer. The figure also doesn't include any other accessories other than, just put her into the middle here, other than the horse, or at least the body of the horse. Could you imagine how much horse meat you could get from just the body alone? I'm asking for a friend. It's 2 halves. There is some additional assembly that's required, considering, of course, we don't have front or hind legs. We don't have a head. That's inside somebody. I think in Godfather, wasn't it? Somebody slept with a horse head. I assure you, there is no horse. I don't think, at least, there's a horse head missing. Of course, we will be looking at an upcoming review. And the tail is also missing as well. So right now, we only have 2 halves of the horse that I'm not going to put together yet, as I feel that putting it together will prevent me from adding the tail, and certainly, is it the tail over here? And prevent me certainly from adding the head. I'm going to leave these as 2 halves for the time being, looking to build that a little bit later into these series of reviews. The head sculpt for Robin is pretty good, though one side effect of them sculpting larger frame glasses like this, it does result in the lower half from the nose down seeming fuller than what it actually is. I think one thing that certainly hasn't helped the cause is the way they've sculpted the mouth so small like this. By having this small mouth like this, I find it makes the cheeks even chunkier than what they actually are. Further to prove that that's not the case, if you look at the figure from the side, Carrie Kelley has a very defined jawline. And even further showing you how much of an optical illusion it is, if you tilt the figure up, you realize the width of her face is actually just the glasses. That in actual fact, Carrie Kelley has very high defined cheekbones. Still, though, I think I would have gone in and changed the mouth, either made the mouth wider to break up the extra space on either side of the mouth, Or I would have just sculpted the mouth completely closed instead. One thing certainly you can say for the figure is that she does look like her comic counterpart, right down to her wilder-looking hairstyle. It's nicely replicated here in plastic, and painted well in a pumpkin orange, too. I have no complaints at all the way they've sculpted the hair. They've even actually gone in there and added some darker oranging in there, too, just to give some nice darker contrast. And, of course, the one thing we already finished talking about is the glasses. Now, the glasses, like in the comics, she has the bigger, boxier glasses with green lenses. Of course, when you use something like green lenses, you can't just do away with the lenses altogether, because some companies will just only sculpt in the frames, so you don't have to then worry about the eyes looking distorted underneath. Carrie Kelley's a little harder, of course, because she's using the translucent green lenses. So, of course, they would have to have used plastic for this. It does sort of result in the eyes being a little on the cloudier side, but you can still easily see them underneath. Yeah, just not crazy about that mouth. As for certainly the rest of the body, you got to believe that McFarlane Toys is planning to re-release this mold. If they haven't already, let me plant the bug in their ear. Re-release this figure at some point down the road as a Dick Grayson classic Robin. Got to think there's nothing they really would need to change. Just pop the head off and not just then replace it with a Dick Grayson head. Just keep the body the way it is. One thing I did notice about the face, for example, is it's not quite the same skin tone as her sleeves or her lower legs, as both of these seem a little more rosier in coloring. Not quite rosier, but you can certainly see her face is a little paler when you compare the two plastics. As certainly goes for plastic, I don't think they've used much of anything else other than the plastic coloring for her body. Like her tunic, of course, is just the plastic red. Yeah, they would have gone in there and painted the R, for example, on her logo. They would have, painted the stripes in, and they would have painted in the belt and belt buckle. But I think all the rest of the figure is probably just the molded plastic. We could spin the figure around so you can see the sculpting on the cape. Really nice looking cape on this figure as well. I like the way it's got just a little bit of flow draping off to the side of the figure's body like this. And of course, when we tilt this back, pull this back, you can see some nice sculpted body underneath this. Could they not have, just used this for a Dick Grayson? They gotta make that happen at some point. And of course, she does have the higher, almost arm-length gloves. Again, using the plastic, so it probably doesn't seem like there's a lot of extra paint that's been afforded to this figure. And then, of course, she does have her elf shoes, too. Not one of which that can't be replaced for a Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson would just use the exact same body as this one. Gotta make that happen, McFarlane Toys. Gotta give us a Dick Grayson in this classic Robin look. Articulation, Carrie Kelley does have a ball joint that attaches the top of her neck inside to the cavity of the head. That allows the head to look up this high, and it allows the head to look down this low. You can also tilt the head back and forth, and for the obvious reasons, you can rotate the head all the way around as well. Taking the arms are also on ball hinge joints, so you can bring those arms out. It does still have the socket joint concealed inside the torso, and you can take the arms and rotate them all the way around. The figure does have a bicep swivel, though periodically, as you've already seen here, the ball joint or peg joint does pop back out. It's easy to just replace, just pop that back in. But she does have a bicep swivel. Figure has a double hinge on the elbow, and the figure does have a hand swivel. You can rotate the hands all the way around and hinging those back and forth. Looks like she's going to ask a question. Figure doesn't have an upper torso ball joint necessarily, at least not one that you can see, but she does have a ball joint that works behind the scenes, allowing the top of the torso to rotate all the way around. The lower half of her legs, just above her legs actually, she's got the softer plastic concealing the ball joint sockets on the insides of her thighs. You can take, of course, the legs and bring them forward. You can bring them back. Mild swivel at the top of the thigh. There's a double hinge on the knee. And then, of course, there's the articulation in the ankle. You can ankle pivot this way as well. And the figure does have toe articulation too. A lot to like here with the Carrie Kelley Robin. In fact, my only one landed criticism I could say about the figure is the way they sculpted the mouth. Doesn't look so bad. From the side, looks a little off when you're looking at it straight forward. She, of course, is sporting a classic-looking Robin. Therefore, you gotta believe, you gotta hope at least, McFarlane Toys is planning to release a classic Robin, because they literally would have to change nothing about the figure's body. You could say, well, she looks a little feminine, the figure's body. Like I said, I don't think there's anything they need to change in order to release a classic-looking Robin. Of course, this is the first figure that we're going to be looking at in the Build-A-Figure Horse Wave. I never thought I would ever say that here on this channel. We're going to be building a horse in the next several videos. And of course, if you guys are interested in picking this one up for yourself, it should be available right now in retail stores and online. If you guys are new to this channel, you're enjoying the content that you're seeing, and certainly would like to stay on board as we finish the rest of this horse, as the person that's behind the camera sounds a little hoarse. Certainly make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, turn on the bell notification, and come back so that you can see the rest of the reviews for the DC Multiverse Batman Dark Knight Returns Horse Wave. I can't believe we're saying that. Lots of stuff coming your way, guys. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.